Hey guys, in today's video we are going to see the day Whis cried. This story will tell how Whis and Beerus met and how was the coexistence with each other in the beginning. Because both had very different personalities, revealing that Beerus and Whis hated each other. Yes, Beerus and Whis had their disagreements, and it will be these disagreements that we'll see. So grab a bucket of popcorn and your soda and come with me, and of course don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Well, without further ado, let's get started. In the 7th universe. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on the planet of the god of destruction, it was possible to see the current destroyer of that universe, Beerus, raising his power while forming an aura made of pure energy of destruction around his body. A few meters away from Beerus, Whis was looking at the god of destruction without worrying about the power that Beerus was gathering, because even using all his power, Beerus would not be able to hurt Whis. So defeating Whis would be something completely impossible for Beerus with the current level of his power. And that was something that the god of destruction would never admit. And even knowing the difference between the strengths of both divine beings, Beerus would not back down, because even though his strength level was great, Beerus's pride and arrogance were still bigger. Whis was analyzing every inch of Beerus's body and seeing that Beerus's power of destruction was increasing every second. But even though Beerus's power continued to increase, Whis still didn't feel threatened, because for the angel Whis, Beerus's energy and his killing intent being released was like a light breeze that was passing through his hair. It didn't shake the angel one bit, who felt sorry for Beerus's level of weakness. Beerus, after raising his power to the maximum, he advanced with everything towards Whis, who just watched Beerus's movements. Beerus was advancing at great speed against his angel. At least, that's what he thought. But for Whis, Beerus's movements were so slow that his speed was ridiculous. Beerus, when approaching Whis, tried to hit him with a punch in his face, but the angel just bent his head to the side, avoiding Beerus's blow. The god of destruction did not stop with just one blow and tried to land several punches in Whis, and just like the others, the angel dodged easily, which was making Beerus increasingly irritated with the fact that he couldn't land any hits on Whis. And what irritated the god of destruction the most was Whis's neutral and boring face. Whis dodged all the attacks that were being launched by Beerus, and all of this using smoothing and calm movements, as if the angel wasn't even trying to dodge the god of destruction's blows. And really, Whis wasn't even trying, because at all times the angel looked anywhere but Beerus himself, and that only made the god of destruction even angrier. Beerus, who was very angry, started to release even more energy, and then the god of destruction fired several spears of ki against Whis. But the angel himself just raised his hand and created a barrier around himself. The barrier protected the angel from the spears of ki, and each spear that hit the barrier of Whis was completely destroyed or repelled. And thanks to that barrier of Whis, the planet of the god of destruction ended up gaining several craters, and the small planets that were around the planet of the god of destruction ended up being completely destroyed. And seeing that, Whis sighed, not because the planets had been destroyed, but because it would be tedious to rebuild all that. Because as an angel, Whis had the power to rewind time, and with that fix the wrong things that his god of destruction had done. Beerus said, "You bastard, stop dodging and protect yourself from my attacks, and come face me for real," said the god of destruction while looking at his angel, who was still protecting himself with the energy barrier that was around him. Whis said, "I don't lack will, but I can't do that, because it goes against my father's rules. But you yourself are challenging me to a fight, and the rules say that I cannot fight by my will, but as my god of destruction is wanting me to face him, then this rule can be circumvented on that occasion," said the angel, disposing of his barrier and putting himself in a combat posture. Then Whis started to release a small amount of energy that ended up forming an aura around him. Beerus, when he saw that Whis was finally going to start facing him for real, the god of destruction put himself in a combat posture. But when he looked around, he saw Whis had disappeared. And when he reappeared, he was already in front of Beerus, hitting a punch on his face that was so strong, it was enough to throw the god of destruction away. Whis then disappeared again and reappeared next to Beerus, landing a kick on his shoulder. And when Beerus managed to recover, he ended up receiving a ki attack that took the form of a large spear of energy, which made the god of destruction support his knees on the floor as he held Whis's attack in his hands. Beerus, gathering his energy in his arms, he managed to withstand the ki attack, and using the rest of his energy, Beerus threw the ki attack back to Whis, and when the attack approached the angel, he snapped his fingers. And with that, the attack that Beerus had done disappeared, without leaving any trace of energy. Beerus was very surprised when he saw that because he had felt the difference in the powers of both beings. But when Beerus looked at Whis, he was even more surprised to see that Whis was crying, and the reason was unknown to Beerus. Beerus said, "Why are you crying?" asked the god of destruction to his angel. Whis said, "Because I don't like to fight for no reason. I hate hurting other people, and even though you're someone I don't like, due to your attitudes, I don't have to hurt you, but you keep forcing me to do it. And that's why I'm crying," said the angel through tears, because he hated hurting other people, and that made the god of destruction have a slight weight on his conscience. But soon after, Beerus ended up fainting for having used too much energy in that meaningless battle. Thousands of years in the future. Currently in the 7th universe, more precisely on planet Earth, it was possible to see that a big birthday party was happening at the Capsule Corporation. Whis and Beerus were present because they had been invited to the party of Bra, Vegeta's daughter, with Bulma, and Beerus was Bra's godfather, also her nanny when the god of destruction was on planet Earth. Beerus was at the table a little further away with several dishes on his table. The god of destruction had already eaten a lot, and now he was looking at the sky thoughtfully until Whis arrived at the scene. Whis said, "Mr. Beerus, you seem to be a little pensive. Did something happen?" asked the angel as he approached Beerus with some plates of sweets in his hand. Beerus said, "It's nothing, Whis. I just remember the past when you and I still hated each other, and when I practically forced you to face me because I wanted to show that I wasn't someone weak. But as I expected, I am much weaker than you, and you didn't even see it as a fight, because from the beginning you didn't want to hurt me. And when I forced you to reach that level, you," said the god of destruction before being interrupted by Whis, who sat beside from Beerus. Whis said, "I ended up crying because I didn't want to have to hurt anyone without a reason, and hurting you made me feel bad, and ended up crying." "But why are you thinking about that?" asked the angel while looking at his god of destruction. Beerus spoke, "I was remembering how proud and arrogant a young god of destruction I was, who just by being a destroyer title thought he could have anything and defeat anyone, including the high priest and ZENO-SAMA. I was very stupid back then, and young," said the god of destruction with an indignant tone about his own insignificance before other powerful beings that Beerus thought he was superior to when he was younger. Whis said, "You were young and had just received the title of god of destruction, so you don't have to look like that, Mr. Beerus. At that time I thought I was punished because my father placed you as my god of destruction. But luckily, you ended up changing after that day. And nowadays you're practically not that arrogant and proud a god of destruction anymore, but a good friend. But it's still not the god of destruction who takes his work more seriously," said the angel with a funny tone to change the heavy atmosphere that was between the two, and that worked. Beerus said, "Seriously, I'm here opening my heart and talking about all my mistakes, and you come and say this, Whis. That's why I don't like talking about these matters with you," said the god of destruction, irritated, before picking up some sweets and putting them in his mouth. And with that, the heavy atmosphere that was in the place disappeared, and Whis started laughing at the reaction of his god of destruction. With that, we will end today's video. If you want to see the continuation of this incredible story, leave a lot of likes on the video and comment, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you another day, guys.